Welcome to the depths of the strange, otherworldly, unknown, paranormal, and much more, where we explore theories that defy logic, reason, and will leave you questioning reality itself. I've had my disturbing experiences with a Ouija board years ago. Check out my mysterious Ouija board theories video if you haven't already, so you know what I mean. This video is not about the Ouija board specifically. This video is actually about a name some would rather not mention or hear about. A name that has shown up in thousands of Ouija board sessions across the world. A name whispered through planchettes, written in zigzag patterns, and burned into the nightmares of those who encountered it. The name is Zozo. And whether you believe in demons or not, its presence has been documented in ways that even hardened skeptics find deeply unsettling. The first widespread account surfaced in 2009 when a man named Darren Evans claimed he came face to face with an entity calling itself Zozo during what he thought would be a harmless Ouija board session. Evans described the planchette moving violently, spelling out the name Z-O-Z-O over and over, faster than human hands could keep up. He said the air grew heavy, the lights flickered, and a feeling of dread washed through the room so intensely that everyone present froze in place. He soon noticed that Zozo didn't act like the typical ghost these sessions usually attracted. It was intelligent, manipulative, and disturbingly familiar with everyone at the table. Evans reported that after the session, strange things began happening in his home. Objects moved, shadows walked the halls at night, and his family suffered sudden, unexplained misfortunes. His story spread like wildfire, and suddenly, people everywhere began to realize they had encountered the same name long before Evans ever spoke it publicly. What makes Zozo terrifying is not just its persistence, but its consistency. People across different countries, languages, and cultures, many who had never heard the name before, described nearly identical experiences. They all reported the same smooth, fast, unnatural movements of the planchette, the same sense of heaviness, the same mocking tone, and always the same exact pattern, Z-O-Z-O, repeated in long horizontal swings across the board, almost as if something was pacing back and forth, growing impatient. In countless sessions, Zozo begins by pretending to be someone familiar, a deceased loved one or a harmless spirit. It gains trust. It asks personal questions. It reveals intimate details it should never know. And then, very suddenly, the mask drops. The answers turn dark. The insults begin. It threatens to follow participants home. It claims it has watched them sleep. And in the most chilling cases, it shows knowledge of their deepest fears. Zozo encounters have been recorded long before the internet ever existed. Some researchers believe the name Zozo predates modern Ouija boards by centuries. Families during the early 1900s wrote letters describing the exact same behaviors. Even earlier spiritualist diaries mention a restless Z spirit that threatened and mocked participants during seances. It always introduces itself, proudly, with the same strange name. In old demonology texts, there are references to an entity called Zo, a trickster spirit known for deception. In 1816, a French dictionary of demons listed Zozo as one of the malevolent spirits summoned accidentally during seances. Even earlier, in Mesopotamian lore, a similar-sounding entity was described as a wandering parasite of the living, feeding not on bodies, but on fear, confusion, and grief. Whether these connections are real or coincidences, one pattern keeps appearing. Wherever humans have tried to communicate with the unseen, something with this same name seems eager to answer back. Many paranormal investigators warn that Zozo's real power is psychological. It enters through curiosity, then grows through fear. They say the entity feeds off attention. The more people talk about it, the more people fear it. The easier it becomes for it to appear. Some even believe Zozo isn't a single demon, but a mask worn by multiple malicious energies, using one recognizable identity to lure people into letting their guard down. Whether that's superstition or something darker, one thing remains true. Invoking the name Zozo seems to correlate with a spike in violent or disturbing activity around those who encounter it. Evans, the man who made the story famous, eventually claimed his life spiraled into chaos. He reported seeing dark figures in his home, hearing guttural breathing in the middle of the night, and experiencing what he called oppression, a state of overwhelming negativity and depression that he believed Zozo was responsible for. He even said his daughter nearly drowned in the bathtub during an unexplained incident, which he believed was connected to the entity. You may or may not believe his story, but the pattern echoes what others have described. Zozo encounters almost always end with fear, paranoia, and emotional disturbance. So why does Zozo appear so often? Some say it is drawn to weak emotional states, grief, heartbreak, anger, or loneliness. Others think it lingers around ouija boards specifically, using the board as a doorway. A few paranormal researchers say Zozo doesn't need permission to enter once you make contact. The moment the name is spelled out, the invitation is already accepted. If you ever find yourself confronting the name Zozo during a Ouija session, paranormal experts give the same warning. End the session immediately. Don't ask questions. Don't challenge it. Don't say the name out loud. Close the board properly. And never, under any circumstances, let the planchette move into a figure 8. They say that's how it crosses fully into your space. We don't know if Zozo is a real demon, a collective manifestation of human fear, or something in between. Its presence is undeniably consistent and disturbingly global. From small towns to major cities, private homes to abandoned buildings, amateur seances to televised investigations, the same entity keeps appearing, uninvited, unprovoked, and unafraid. And perhaps the most chilling part is this. Many people who reported encountering Zozo said they were not thinking about demons. They weren't scared. They weren't trying to summon anything evil. They were simply curious. They opened the door a crack, only to discover something was already waiting on the other side. So, the next time someone hands you a Ouija board and laughs it off as a party trick, remember the name carved into decades of encounters, written across cultures, and whispered through countless trembling voices. Sometimes when you reach out to the unknown, something reaches back, and in this case, it's almost worst-case scenario. I'm lucky as hell to have avoided this entity. It's mainly one of the reasons I stopped messing with the Ouija board. However, if any of you ever decide to give it a go and see those letters slide across the board, know that whatever you've contacted is not your friend, can't be trusted, and shouldn't be underestimated. That's it for this video. I'm interested to know your own theories and thoughts, so please do share them in the comments. I'm also open to video ideas, so feel free to let me know. If you enjoy my videos, then please like, comment, and subscribe for more. Thank you as always. And don't forget to keep questioning reality.